February and the way that he's played in this finals, what is your biggest takeaway of what he was able to provide the Warriors in getting back there for the third straight year?
Oh, just that it's been everything all year. The shot blocking all season before he got the knee injury was covering him in Oklahoma City. That was the one thing I was like, man, I didn't know he could block shots like this consistently. I mean, he was.
You mean like slow down on the fast break and let her do like I'm about to block this shot,
like LeBron,
and then block it?
Twice.
He got DeMar DeRozan at the rim.
I thought he was about to get dunked on that last one though. Like he slowed up like I'm about to block this shot.
Yeah.
And then blocked it.
And honestly, he was getting there was times I remember when Draymond missed a game and he had 6 against the Timberwolves. I mean, that to me was the regular season takeaway with him. He's rebounded really well all year, and this team needed defensive rebounding with some of the centers and shot blocking with some of the centers they dropped. He's done all that, and then the playoffs, I think he's reminded the world, Game 3 in Utah, Game 3 in San Antonio, when he needs to turn it on, when they need to isolate. I mean, he could just go out and get 35 on 19 shots.
Durant's obviously going to be a huge part in the assignment, the mega assignment of guarding LeBron. So there are some other players there on this Warriors team that could potentially swing a game one way or the other. I want to get your guys' take. I think it's going to be JaVale McGee. How many of you in the back think it's going to be JaVale McGee swinging a game?
Mr. Bontemps over there. Do you think it's going to be JaVale McGee?
JaVale McGee.
Given the way he played in Game 3, it shows in the choice to not put him back into that starting lineup in Game 4. I think it's safe to say that we can all chill a little bit on the hype around there, but I think he does have a potential to swing.
Thank you for saying we can chill on the hype.
So you're the one.
Tim Bontemps watched the post.
The biggest JaVale hater, I'd say.
Terrible.
No.
I don't know if we go that far, but who do you guys think, Anthony, I'm going to start with you, might have a chance to swing a game here or there, be kind of that X factor for the Warriors?
Look, Andre Iguodala was the NBA Finals MVP a couple of years ago. I think his game you would think maybe has fallen off a little bit since then, but remember March? I mean, there was quotes from Steve Kerr saying this is maybe as good or better than he was even in the Finals MVP, because that was when Durant went down. He was scoring 20-plus a game. I think he dunked 25 times in a month, which is by far the most he's had in a long time.
Still got those legs.
But then it disappeared in the playoffs. I mean, some of that was Durant's back. Durant's very, productive, and he kind of, sink back into that role off the bench. But he's needed against LeBron. We all know, he is maybe the, you don't want to call him a LeBron stopper because that's Deshaun Stevenson, right? But he's an important guy to defend LeBron James, and if he can swing a game either way. If he's not good, he wasn't good on Christmas, he had 4 turnovers and didn't play good defense. They lost that game, so his performance is important, I think.
And he's been struggling with the knee. I mean, we saw him go through some spurts here and there towards the end of the Western Conference Finals, but that's been a problem, the physicality. So they're hoping that the rust doesn't settle back in, because you'd think 9 days off, good for health, but that was kind of the problem last time. Marcus, who do you think is going to swing a game here?
I'm going to go with Klay Thompson, just because all the attention is going to be on 4 players. Steph, Durant, LeBron, Kyrie.
Draymond's going to give him
Draymond will be there. Draymond will be there because of that. You almost forget about Klay, and Klay has not had a great NBA Finals yet. He's been through 2. He hasn't played well. Not to mention, he might have the key matchup of the series. We're talking about Durant on LeBron, Andre Iguodala on LeBron. The real guy is Kyrie Irving, who's guarding that dude, because Kyrie cooked him last year. People was like, oh, Kyrie cooked Steph. No, 90% of that was getting by Klay. So if Klay can guard him, that's one less. That's probably the major thing they got to figure out. And if Klay ever makes shots, if he has a Klay game, that's a wrap, because they got to stop Durant, they got to stop Steph. Klay's a different. If he goes out and gets 25, I don't know what they do to stop it. So for me, it's Klay, and we'll know what to call him after the series. If he's terrible, he's Klay, and if he's great, he's Thompson. So either way it goes.
See what you did there.
I'm just saying, when he's really good, he's a Thompson. When he's not, then he's Klay.
Get it?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, that's legit theology right there, right?
That's fair. And we'll get more into Klay Thompson's struggles in our What Would You Do segment. But let's jump into some true and false. There have been a lot of different storylines. As you wrote in your game story the other night, this wasn't a drama-filled series, which is awesome. But some of the drama coming out of Joe Lacob's comments of, we want Cleveland as much as this series is, kind of pegged to be that, they want that redemption. Are Joe Lacob's comments a distraction for players?
Honestly,
True or false?
I was in the interview. I actually asked him if he wanted Cleveland, and that's the quote that came out. I wanted more from Joe Lacob. I was sitting there thinking, man, he didn't give enough. I was hoping he was really going to make some headlines. It ends up turning into a headline, and people are talking bulletin board. To me, it's not that big a deal. It really wasn't that inflammatory. Same with the whole Tyronn Lue, what he said recently. I didn't really think that was as bad as some people made it out to be. Whatever. I mean, what matters is how LeBron James and Kevin Durant are guarding each other, and how Kyrie's shooting, and Klay and Iguodala. It's not whether Joe Lacob gave them an inch more motivation or the other way around.
I'm gonna go with true, like on a minor level, mostly because they've gone like all year without talking mess, right? Like they've won, they're 12-0, and you don't hear them saying anything. Oh, we don't know what's gonna happen. Even Draymond's like, look, man, we blew a 3-1 lead. Like we gotta be everybody humble. So here he goes, kind of violating that. Like we want Cleveland. They want to say it, but they're like, nah, that's not the message. Let's chill, and he'll say it. I don't think it's a factor at all, but I think it's like, hey, we almost have a team message here of let's focus on what we got to do. We got to win a championship. We did all of this hype and back and forth, and Klay saying it's a man's game and all that stuff last year. Now they don't want to do any of it. Now they want to say all the right things and not deal into that.
Does that affect one single shot in the series?
No, well, the owner never affects the shot. So
that's what I mean.
But I just feel like, look, if you think Draymond don't want to pop off,
let him then. I'm all for it.
The team message is we're not about that.
No,
the message for Draymond, threw him off last year.
Draymond's just gonna wait for the podcast, Mark.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's not giving away anything here. He's gonna wait for that.
No, he ain't. Look, the worst thing they could do is start talking mess and then lose again. So they're like, well, let's just shut up and win. That's the message. We're just gonna be quiet and win. And then after they win, you might hear him. But if Draymond can tone it down, the Draymond Green of the front office probably should tone it down too.
True or false? The pick and roll with LeBron and Kyrie is more deadly than the pick and roll we're seeing with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Marcus.
I mean, I don't think we're going to see either one of them very much, just because they just don't do it like that. But I'm going to go with the Steph KD. Okay. LeBron coming off a pick, like a pick and pop, is just not a thing, right? Like he's going to set a screen and he's not going to come off and pop and hit a 22-footer or hit a three. That's just not his game. And with Steph and KD one ain't that great either.
Durant.
So who's better of both of them?
Draymond Green screen.
Draymond Green is the best screen.
Durant flanked in the corner for space. That's the best.
I don't think they're going to do either very much because neither one of them is very good. If I had to pick one, I'd say Steph and KD because both are a threat to shoot off of it. Whereas if LeBron and Kyrie, only one is a real threat. You hope LeBron's come off a screen
shooting it better from three than Durant in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Durant is
you're taking that shot.
Shooter.
If LeBron's coming off the screen, jacket 23, you're like, hey, that's exactly what we want.
Since we've already all but crowned Cleveland, even though there is a game tonight, Cleveland-Boston, that's basically how we formatted all of our questions for the show, so you're just going to have to deal with that.
Hey, did you guys buy a copy of Golden? The Miraculous Rise of
I got this hat.
Oh, you got a hat.
I got a copy.
That's so unacceptable right now.
I got the audio version.
Okay.
And the audio version's not Marcus dubbing the whole book, which I wish it would have been. I think that would have been fun.
I'm just saying, there's books right here at Oaklandish. You can buy your copy.
Gave Marcus another plug.
The Miraculous Rise of Steph Curry.
This is what we do. This is like a team effort here.
Yeah.
All y'all need to make me rich.
All right, getting back into the true false. Thank you guys for stopping by. Kevin Love will be Cleveland's X Factor.
One of them.
Can we get a true false? Can we at least throw
true
I
false.
know, you got to kind of follow the instructions, dude.
If Kevin Love has a big series, I mean that's huge for Cleveland because how bad was he 2 years ago? That was the whole.
He didn't play. He was hurt.
He was hurt.
Last year. I mean, the whole story was that he couldn't, guard in space. He actually makes maybe one of the more memorable defensive plays last year by guarding Steph Curry in space. Maybe there's question marks around Curry's knee issue at the time, but if he cannot get Pau Gasol exploited, because Pau Gasol exploited in that last series, if he could be okay defensively and then also just hit threes like he has been hitting threes, they're shooting the lights out in the playoffs. That's a huge piece, and Draymond Green guarding that is going to be important.
I'm gonna go with Tristan, man. I say false because it's Tristan Thompson. If he's crashing the boards like that and they don't have an answer for it, it's gonna be a problem. And I'm wondering, do they have an answer for it? Who's gonna keep him off the boards? Is it Zaza? Is it David West? Or is it just like a battle of athleticism with him and JaVale McGee just killing each other? I don't know how they're gonna answer that. They couldn't answer it before. So what's the answer now? For me, that's that's kind of going to be a critical point in the series.
Could be the small lineup. They haven't needed to use it a ton this year, but if there's trouble spots,
You better make it though,
series,
because Tristan is getting that rebound.
if there's trouble spots in the series, they can go to that. I think more than they have at all this season. Maybe they have stretches of 8 straight minutes with it, and that's Draymond Green and Kevin Durant having a rebound.
All right, reminder, if you have questions, you can either come by the store downtown Oakland, Oaklandish, or tweet them using the hashtag BASports on Twitter, Facebook, and throw them in the comments below on the live stream. Let's move ahead into our What Would You Do segment. Stealing a line there from City High. I like that. Do you even know who they are?
City High.
Yeah, long time.
I went Oakland Tech. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyways.
I'm sure it's John Quinones. What would you do? You know that? No.
That's way past him. All right. Klay Thompson has struggled. It's been the storyline. There's always these playoff storylines, and everybody during these 9 days are going to hone in on how do you fix Klay Thompson? Well, he was really good defensively. I mean, Mike Brown talked about it at practice today, that assignment of taking Patty Mills out effectively was all Klay Thompson. And we saw him in earlier series, kind of pockets here and there, but he hasn't had the Klay explosion that we've seen in multiple games. Anthony, during this time, I mean, what would you do? How do you fix
maybe
Klay?
scout to get him more touches. If you look, NBA.com tracks how many times a player touches the ball per game. Klay Thompson's, even though he's playing more minutes in the playoffs, he's only touching the ball about, 8 or 10 times less per game than he did in the regular season. His shot attempts are way down. His points are way down. He had a game, I think it might have been either the Portland or Utah series, where he had 39 minutes and only 9 shots. All season, if he played over 30 minutes, he was getting 14 or more shots. So he's just not being used as much. Part of that is because we haven't seen Durant and Curry work this well together. And if those guys are so on, the more shots are going to them. To me, he's out of rhythm because I think partly he's just not touching it nearly as much.
Same for you?
I will. You know what? You got to get in transition more. Mm-hmm. You got to run. Like, that's where Klay is going to get those, backbreaker three-pointer. Like, that's where he's good, especially when he's, like, in his head with his shot. I think they run a little bit too much, let's get Klay a shot. Instead, push the pace, let him get in the freneticism where he's just shooting and he's not thinking about a shot. He's really good at that. I also think you just got to leave him alone.
You just got to hit shots.
You got to I think they're doing it right by not making it a big deal, because it'll come eventually, but the more he thinks about it, the worse it's gonna get. So, I would say leave him alone. Maybe give him some time with Rocco. Chill out.
Yeah, everybody talks
weather's
about
nice.
Weather's nice, man.
He should be shooting well.
I'm just saying, what would y'all do with Klay?
Leave him alone. Let a dead dog lie.
Leave him alone.
Not
I think
much.
the games guys come to him most of the time.
There's great defense on the court. Best shooting guard, best defensive shooting guard in the game.
And they're happy with the fact that he's been able to, throughout these struggles, stay locked in defensively. Because guarding Patty Mills, the dude's a lightning bolt.
I mean, let's not anoint him for shutting down Patty Mills.
I'm not, but the
It's
fact
been
that
too much
but,
of that lately.
but the
It's
fact
Patty
that
Mills.
yes, he's not Tony Parker. But the fact is, that dude was all over the court, and Klay was still sticking with him on every assignment.
Yeah, the only issue I've had with all these comments, like Mike Brown keeps saying that, everyone's mentioning that, it's he was doing that when he was shooting well too. I mean, he was always been a good defender. He's just not shooting well. That's what we need to talk about, because he's always been that defender. It's not like it's a seesaw that's going the other way.
All right, Bob Myers, general manager of the Warriors, spoke this afternoon about Steve Kerr's health. It's been a lingering question mark. Is he going to come back for the finals? Is he not? There really was no news today to report other than this is a process that they're going through. Anthony, what do you do if you were with the Warriors, what do you do at this point, given that he may feel well enough to come back for the finals, he may not?
I think they know he's not coaching in the NBA Finals, but I think just out of respect to Steve, they're kind of leaving the door open so he doesn't feel completely out of the loop. But he's around a ton. But the truth is, look, they're talking about, well, if he feels 3-4 days of progress, then maybe. My thing is, if he feels 3 or 4 days of progress, do not put him on the sidelines of an NBA Finals game. You know how stressful those games are. A bad call happens. That's how he originally hurt the back. He was jumping up in the finals on a call he was mad at. So you don't want to put him in that situation. Bright lights, that the arena in Cleveland, the noise that they pump in, if he is feeling
designer songs, just
that too. If he's
mess them all up,
if he's feeling enough progress, that is the time you don't want him on the sidelines.
You know what? I would just say he's out. I would end all the discussion about it. Steve Kerr is out for the remainder of the season. And if somehow that changes, then he's like Willis Reed running out of the tunnel, like saving the day. But like he's out. Just come out like
Give me the
Just
clipboard.
break a clipboard to like announce that he's back.
Yeah, like somehow like just say he's out, and now that's over. It's done. He's out. Now he might need like the carrot of you can come back. Like that, they might want him to have that so he can kind of work his way back. And, they want to like he might just say, "All right, I'm out let me chill." But I just say he's out.
I got another theory that's probably completely false. Mike Brown against Cleveland is about to be a mega storyline once Cleveland is officially, coming out of the East. Maybe they're just thinking if they leave this lingering, Steve Kerr could come back, maybe they cut down that storyline a little bit because people are still like, well, it might be Kerr. But if you announce Kerr's completely out, then we got Mike Brown, Cleveland as a clash. That's probably completely false, but maybe that's part of their thought.
Brown trying to slay the king. With that in mind, what would you do? How do you stop LeBron and Kyrie?
I mean, you just defend the way they've been defending all year. Versatile. You throw a bunch of waves of people at him. With LeBron, I think they have the best roster in the league to at least slow LeBron because you have, Iguodala, who we've talked about. Draymond Green can guard him at times. Is obviously one of the best help defenders in the league, probably the best help defender. And then Kevin Durant is they're both really good defenders of each other because, they're two of the top 5 talents in the world. I mean, they've always scored on each other, but they make it hard on each other, which is all you can do. I mean, you're not going to be like, hey, Durant, go, shut him down for 11 points, but just defend hard.
I'm trapping Kyrie, like
Force him to pass because he doesn't pass a lot.
I'm trapping Kyrie. He's the one guy who I think they have a problem with just because he's so slithery and he's such an expert at one-on-one. If it's a close game, I'm just like, all right, I'm giving him the Steph Curry treatment. Yeah, I'm blitzing you and make you pass the ball.
Would you do one of those where if he was dribbling at the top of the key, you just send a center out and then kind of rotate
probably not a
behind
center.
it?
He'll get around center.
Well, I mean, if you double, you kind of force it out of his hand.
I'd send Draymond.
All right.
I'd send Draymond to I'm forcing him to give the ball up because when he's got it in his hands, you got foul trouble is an issue. He's great at finishing around the rim. And like you said, they got a lot of pieces that can guard LeBron. They don't have a lot of pieces that can guard Kyrie. If he's beating Klay, now it's like, do we put Iguodala on him? Like, what do we do? Maybe Livingston? Like, you're running out of options. McCaw might be a new one.
X Factor earlier we talked about.
Yeah, McCaw might be a new weapon they can throw. But I would just I want to see them trap him and take him out of the game. Just you got to give the ball up and see, does he make the right pass? Does he force it and turn it over? Like nobody traps Kyrie. If you ever watch, I know he's playing next to LeBron, but nobody traps him ever. He just gets to go one-on-one, which is the best. He's like the best at one-on-one, and they just let him do it.
Is this embarrassing for the Celtics that we're sitting here and just breaking down every part of a Cavs series when they're playing?
They're playing tonight in like an hour. So.
I mean, look, they're relying on Marcus Smart to get.
Hey, I covered Marcus
29
Smart
points. Nah, that's fine. But
he can get hot.
Yeah, exactly. He had his one.
He needs 3 more of those.
Yeah, ain't happening.
All right, finishing this up in 30 seconds or less, tell me, what would you do to keep JaVale McGee next year or not?
At the minimum, yes. He's a piece. He's worked beautifully for the minimum this year. He's probably given them $5-6 million type per year production this season. 121 dunks in 730 minutes this season. He was like 12th in the league even though he barely plays. He's such a weapon that they can utilize. They just have to convince JaVale McGee, hey, you may be getting an offer for $6 million elsewhere, but first of all, you're not going to play in the finals elsewhere, and you're not going to have nearly the impact. We revitalize your career, come back on the minimum. If he says, no, I want $6 million a year.
Can they even pay him?
They can give him a minimum. They can
Yeah,
give
that's what I'm
anyone
saying. Like more than that. They can't.
No,
yeah,
I mean, unless it's going to dig in elsewhere. So it's just, to me, it's what would JaVale McGee do? Does he want to stay here or does he want to go?
I'm going to get that printed on a bracelet. WWJD.
JD?
If you live your
WWJD, that's what you're going to
JGD.
JVGD?
I don't know. It's so many
Yeah,
letters.
got her. That's like one of them games you play with shots.
Exactly. What would you do, Marcus?
I would do whatever it takes to keep him. Like they can't do too much, so there's a limit, right? Like it's not like they can pay him $10 million, but I mean, Zaza and David West are your first 2 centers. Like you got to get a center anyway.
It's just, I was talking to Myers about it the other day when he was in free agency last year with the centers. It's not a discussion. It's just like, do you want the minimum to play?
Yeah.
And he says yes or
But
no.
you know,
he's there
there are some things
not.
you can do. You know, make him feel good. They can feel a lot better.
Well, they've
about
done that
it,
all season. If he doesn't recognize that, he's never going to.
Now, look, it's when the Sixers are like, dude, we got $10 million for you. He's probably out.
You know what? Then congrats, and they
but-
better hope Damian Jones is better. I mean, they can go and find somebody. He's not that important. I think they'd be in this spot if JaVale was.
I don't even think it's a basketball thing, though. I think it's a team morale thing. Like, his teammates. Like, if you're Steph, right, and for so long you've been throwing lobs to David Lee, right, Chris Hunter, and dudes who can't jump, you finally get a dude you could do what Kyrie do. Just go to the hole and be like,
I think Damian Jones next year.
he might be able to, but you can't take that from Steph.
Yeah,
when
but you
finally
know
give it
what
to him.
his teammates will be happy about if they're like,
If he got
man,
paid.
JaVale got a $10 million contract with the Sixers. They'll be Instagram posting, congrats, JaVale. I mean, it'll be fine.
All right. With all the talk of the dirty plays, the manslaughter, the illegal screens, I figured right now is probably a good time for us to go into our own athletic careers or former athletic careers for some of
I
us
don't
who
wanna
still
do
think
this.
we can play basketball over there. You get 45 seconds to tell me.
You start.
You want me to start on
you
this?
start.
Okay, well, I didn't play basketball growing up, but we'll talk through our dirtiest play that
What did you play?
we did.
Tetherball? Like,
I played soccer. So
Tetherball?
oh, you never played tetherball? Tetherball is lit.
In recess in like
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
Tetherball is
not like
lit.
organized
You go over there
sport.
with they playing on it. You just go over there and dominate real quick, and then bounce and go finish playing hoop.
Okay. Not saying that I'm an angel or anything, but the dirtiest play of my athletic career came as someone's opposing me. I was a goalie, and I was running out to the 18 in soccer to go get a ball, and it was in club soccer, and a girl took her forearm of her arm and just came and whacked me in the head and gave me a concussion. My first of 3 that year, which ended my athletic career and all hope that I had of making Team USA and playing in the Olympics. I was 16. So that was probably my dirtiest play.
Hold on, you didn't do it. She whacked you.
I was a goalie. I was going out. I mean, I had my knee up and everything.
That's
and
such a violation of the whole. Your dirt. What did you do?
I was an angel.
Y'all hear
when I
that? She was
played,
like,
so,
"Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna throw it in.
somebody did this to me. I was the victim."
Exactly.
What did you
and
do?
I specifically said I'm not an angel, but this is the only thing that I can really recall upon. It must be the
I'm booing
concussions.
that. I'm
Must be
booing
all
that.
of the stuff. So I'm gonna.
I can go. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
go ahead,
for it,
go
Anthony.
mine's simple. I throw at somebody intentionally in baseball. You got beef with the other team, or they peg somebody. One of your good players pegged me because in Little League and up and through high school, you hit and you pitch. So throw at somebody intentionally.
Like at the
Not in the head. Not in the head. You got to go back.
That's not really, man.
Kidney. That's
What were you doing in the streets? That's what I want to know.
What?
It was all this pickup.
First off,
all
why
this
you assuming
pickup-
I was in the streets? I'm
Because
I'm in a manicured gym.
Because you were
air
always
conditioned.
talking about your
In
pickup
math class,
skills.
is
You
what
know
and
what
all
I'm
these-
saying?
Math
I was in math class.
No, you're talking about your pickup skills and calling guys out in the. I want to know about
I
that.
played in a gym. EOYDC was a
Okay.
gym. Like, it was a
Fair.
nice gym.
He was having a conversation in San Antonio with Kevin Durant, and we were debating how many times one-on-one move on Durant it would take for him to score on Kevin Durant. I said about 300 something. Durant said over 1,000.
He said over
1,000. Wow,
He said
didn't give you the time
give
of
him
day.
like
500.
4.
Give me 500.
Oh, well, yeah.
Are you gonna just go back to back to back in hopes of tiring him out?
Well,
or?
my thing is, like, I agree with him. If he just kept trying to throw really high arcing threes over Durant, he would make it. But he started talking about he was going to give it to him in the post, and I was like, this is going to take a
Wow.
while.
Okay.
Y'all clearly don't play hoop, right? If you got a shot blocker on you, what's the first thing they gonna do? No, what they gonna? This ain't even like difficult basketball. Get them in the air. Like, everybody who ever tried to block a little person, fake, they jump in the air. You go to the other side of the rim. Like, this ain't rocket science, is it?
Yeah, there's a difference between Draymond
Boom,
Green.
boom, and then he can't do nothing if the rim is there. Boom, he's in the air. You just can't do nothing.
He would be on both sides.
You
just
can't.
eating.
No, it's not. Oh, all right, now he ain't gonna. I'm just saying. Boom. He's gonna want to jump because he's gonna want to spike it and embarrass me on World Star
He
Hip
doesn't
Hop.
need
So boom. Go to the other side of the rim. It's like this ain't rocket science, right?
I think you're
we need to
trying
And
to.
you give me,
yeah,
give me
you're
100
trying
of them.
to.
You tell me I ain't gonna make one?
Oh Lord, here we go. You're trying to avoid the question here. I
Not
want
at all.
I want to
I've
get back
done
to
all
your.
kind of dirty stuff.
Okay.
I've pulled a player's pants down and like we in the key and you about to come out on the curl screen and he like fronting you, boom, and then run out.
That's the Ron Artest right there.
Yeah, man, all kind of stuff. Man, we used to give people wet willies in games. Be like, Boom. Oh man, quick. Boom. I'm out. I'm going on a fast break. We used to do all kind.
Man, you don't want to give away your
Here's
secret.
probably the dirtiest thing we've ever done. Like playing pickup to be like, hey, see them 5 dudes over there from Sobrani Park? If you score, it's going down. and then they pass the ball because they don't want to fight. So it's like, hey, I got the crew over there. You better not score on me. And then everybody over there looking hella hard. And it's like, yeah, I ain't doing it.
You know what this is
That's
telling
dirty,
us?
right?
He cannot play defense.
I don't even think about playing defense. Wait, I don't argue that at all. I don't play no defense.
Okay, we're gonna pull up
I
some.
shoot and pass. That's it.
You're giving away too many strategies here, Marcus. All right, we're gonna pull
I'm
up
just
some
only one
questions.
telling the truth. That's all.
We're gonna do some audience questions first from our lovely audience back there, and then we'll get to some of your questions on Twitter and the ones that have been emailed in. I'm gonna go with Ayana on this one. Did I say it right? Okay, with KD as a great addition to the team.
You want to let her ask it?
Oh yeah, you guys come and ask it. I'm stealing your thunder here. There you go.
Let's see if I remember it.
Here, you can.
Right.
We put it right up here, so you
Oh,
can read
cool,
it.
awesome. Well, KD as a great addition to the team, do you think will sweep the Cavs in the finals and make history going 16-0 in the postseason?
I don't think they're going to sweep them, but I don't think it's like completely out of the question. There'll be close games. They're going to have to play well down the stretch of a few close games. I'm not just going to blow them out 4 times. I think, look, it's LeBron. I think he'll get 2, honestly. I'll probably pick Warriors in 6, but it's not ridiculous to think they can go 16-0, which is ridiculous for that not to be ridiculous.
It wasn't ridiculous for them to go 12-0.
Yeah, it was.
Nah, they ain't sweeping them.
Okay.
LeBron is one of the greatest players of all time. He's getting a game at some point.
Look, I think I heard Popovich had never been swept in his career. They just swept him. LeBron, I know, has been swept because Popovich swept him.
2 players. If somebody get hurt, they can
They
sweep
did in Popovich era? Okay.
It's 15-1.
Thank you.
They went 15-1 that year. Yeah.
Okay.
Tim Duncan hurt that year?
The only loss was to Allen Iverson when he stepped over Tyronn Lue.
Was that a first round series?
No, it's finals.
Okay.
They lost in the finals.
No, I mean the Spurs. Like,
Oh, it might have been the first.
All right. If it was first, it would have been 3.
Second, because was that the Blazers with Shaq? Kobe threw the lob to Shaq.
That was West
Okay, that's
Finals.
West Finals. All right.
Okay.
Kings were in that whole mix
they
too.
were.
All right, let's bring up Antoine. I like this question about Klay. All right.
Thank you.
Can see it
Yeah,
right there.
All right, cool. So we guys talked about Klay a little bit already, but my question is more like what's going on with him. Do you think it's more just a regular slump that just happens to everybody, or is it kind of a byproduct of KD and Steph like playing the best of they've played together in the playoffs, less touches for him, just he's not getting in a rhythm like he normally does?
I think Klay presses when he doesn't make shots, and he doesn't get that many opportunities because
He's touching it way less.
he's just touching it less. But like he's a shooter, so first off, he doesn't manufacture offense. KD and even Steph has gotten better at it. If I'm off, let me do something else. Klay's do something else is shoot it again, right? So it just becomes a cycle where it just snowballs. He gets in his head a lot. So, but he doesn't all of them have to deal with this. Like you may go 4 or 5, like everybody's Harrison Barnes now, like where you go 5 possessions without touching a rock. Because anytime KD could come down and be like, I got this, or Steph. Even KD goes through it, like when Steph rolling.
He did it, a lot during the season at different pockets.
I don't know if he's he's not the type of player that says, I'm off, let me just go get to the free throw line. Like, that's not Klay. Klay's like, the next one going in, bet, this one on Rocco. And then he don't make it. Or the next one on Rocco, I'm about to make this one. That's just how he is.
All right, Janae, come on up and give this question. There you go, right there.
In the first game
Whoa. She got on the San Francisco Giants.
Is she in the town?
That's out.
Surprising.
That's unacceptable. This better
Don't
be a
hate
good
on
question.
her. Let her answer your question.
In the first game against San Antonio, the Warriors started slow due to the game break layover. So do you think they'll start slow against game 1?
I mean,
I do.
history has repeated itself so far throughout this series or throughout the postseason. And hey, they got over their game 3 struggles, but it seems like they've kind of replaced that with game 1.
It's possible. They also may just have an Avalanche good first quarter too. I mean,
I think the problem is they'll go for the Avalanche.
They might
it's
connect
Cleveland.
on it too.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that they won't play well than do.
Probably, but look, I think Draymond.
But also, it's for like a quarter, right?
Yes,
That was bad
Draymond
first
Green put
quarter.
it well. I think it was between one of the series where he was like, "I'll take 1 quarter of rest for a week of rest," which they're getting. I mean, this team is in so much more unbelievable shape than they were last year when Steph was going through the knee. They had, 2 days off between West Finals Game 7 and NBA Finals?
It's a Sunday, I think it ended.
They
Monday.
have, because you go back to the regular season when they played 6 of their final 7 at home, they've just sat in either the Bay Area. I looked at it the other day. Don't ask me why I was going through weather stuff, but they haven't been in lower than 59 degrees in 3 months almost. I mean, and especially with Klay, although he's not shooting well, they've just lived such a chill life the last 2 months, and
Literally chill with weather, right?
well, not with weather, but 3 complete weeks off. As a person who covers the team, same with you. I'm so much more energized than usually when you're in the
last year I
playoffs.
was near death at this point.
Finals are about to start. You just covered so many games, so much drama around it, and you're just tired. We don't even play the game, so I can imagine. Kevin Durant's played 313 minutes so far in the playoffs. Last year he played through the West Finals. He played 715 because the Thunder was playing him 43 minutes a night. He was playing big, high moment, high pressure games.
A lot of ISO.
It's good that they're this refreshed, even if that's a quarter of rest or rust.
Yeah, I mean, and you clearly have gotten yourself into some new sports science. So if you guys are looking for that, be sure Anthony's reading weather patterns and barometric meters or whatever the heck it is. So got another question. I just lost it, but
Get it together.
here we
Let's
go.
go.
I'm trying.
This is live TV.
Is this Andrew? Andrew, you up there? Cool. Alrighty.
All right, so my question is, how has the Warriors front office and the team addressed and handled the Zaza Pachulia situation with Kawhi Leonard? We have seen the Spurs front office and players make remarks, and fans as well, but not really the Warriors.
You want to give me your Steph story from the locker room?
When they joked about it? Oh, yeah.
That's about. I mean, they didn't really like it.
They didn't like it.
They
at
really
all.
didn't like the manslaughter part of Popovich's statement because that was kind of what, fueled it.
I think they felt like, the problem, obviously Zaza's their teammate. So, why you going to attack his character? You could have just said, they think it was a shady play too, by the way. They're but Pop went after his character. This dude's a dirty player. He's an unfit parent, and
yeah, he was listening.
It's like the girl. It's like the woman who went after LeVar Ball for his parenting thing. So I'm surprised they didn't do the stay in your lane with that.
should have did the stay in your lane. But I think that was the issue that they had. Behind. They're just not gonna diss Pop publicly because they respect Pop. But they were like, dude, say it's a dirty play, then move on. But he went after his whole family name. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever go to Republic of Georgia because
They're coming after you.
yeah, right. That was crazy.
All right, Kathy. And then we've got an anonymous question, so I think I'll just read that one. Is Kathy here? Okay.
Anonymous question.
I like the anonymous question. Might be the best question of the day.
It's on a sticker.
Okay. Right here.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about overconfidence going into the finals. Sure, LeBron missed a dunk the other night, and there's been a lot of media about that, somehow that means a great deal, but I don't think it means much. The media seems to be feeding the notion that the Dubs are a shoo-in, and I think that's a little problematic. What do you think?
They are a shoo-in. Let's ramp it up some. They are a shoo-in. They're not gonna lose. So yeah, add the pressure on. That's what I said.
I think
bring it.
I think if we say it, if they think it is when it could be a problem. Joe Lacob, I think they're in a good place because of what he mentioned earlier. While Joe Lacob's coming out and saying stuff, they're being very careful to not come out and act and talk like they're super confident they're going to slam revenge, which makes you think that last year maybe taught them a lesson that.
No question, they learned their lesson last year. You don't get bigger than that. Up 3-1, Steph dropped 38. They won in Cleveland. It's man, let's go home and close this out. Draymond is sitting in the suite at the A's game, ready to run through the tunnel for the championship celebration. They thought they know exactly what it feels like to be right there and it not happen. So they are super cautious about it right now.
And we saw that after Game 4, after the Western Conference Finals trophy, that, what does this mean? And obviously, there's still so much for them to accomplish, and then they can't get up that high on the Western Conference Finals trophy. But I don't know. It seems like we saw a different side of them and a more humility, at least for just accomplishing what they just did, something that no one has ever done before.
They won 207 games in 3 years. This is their third one. At some point, it does become normal, right? It's their normal.
If that's your normal.
Yeah, that's their normal now. It's been this way for a while, so I wouldn't expect him to get up. But then also, there's still that whole 3-1 thing that's just they have to vindicate that.
Okay, we got a good question coming through on Twitter from @GoldenStateShow. This is from John Utah. Do you think the NBA will make Ty Lue go into concussion protocol after saying the Celtics are harder to defend than the Dubs? Mike Brown responds to this today saying, that's cute. What do you think?
I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier. I think the quote's been a little overblown. He poorly made a point that I think it was like he was like, I don't want to look ahead to the Warriors. We still got to deal with the Celtics. It's harder to. I think he meant it was harder to plan for the Celtics because Isaiah Thomas is out. They're doing a bunch of weird stuff. Marcus Smart's now starting at point guard, and he was just kind of talking about the motion and closing out that series and how he's trying to figure out Brad Stevens. He said it poorly by having the very quotable headline. Harder to defend than the Warriors, but I don't think it's that big a deal.
All right, good question on YouTube from Antonio Ramirez. Who's going to be the MVP of JaVale's softball charity game?
Who's in it?
I don't know, but you can sign up, you can buy tickets. It's over at the Coliseum.
Yeah, it is. It's
going to be a lit event. It's right after the finals.
JaVale McGee has told me he is a fantastic first baseman. So, I mean, he can really, I'm sure, stretch it out.
I'm not sure at the mound.
Just shortstop just puts it in his glove. I don't know if he can hit. Durant, I've seen swing a
Why don't
softball
you
bat
play? For those of you who don't know, Anthony was a very good baseball player.
Well, I mean, if I haven't been asked, I'm not going to force my way into the lineup.
You know he's going to show up
full gear.
Full gear.
Like the whole cleats, all that, eye black,
like
all
the guy
that.
who shows up
the
to
high school bag. That
Show up, chew, all that. Just go in there and be like, hey, I heard there's a game going on.
All right.
Then me. That's on the MVP.
Will losing Travis Schlenk hurt the Warriors? Where will his departure really show up? Who do you think will replace him? That came through about 20 minutes ago from Todd Fuller on Twitter.
Quickly for me, I mean, he's just a big scouting guy, so it might hurt them in the draft. They don't have a pick this year, so he was almost like he could probably just go to Atlanta now. I think he will already go and plan with the Hawks. Marcus would know better about his entire career, which is now, 12, 13 years. He's been important, but where they're at right now, I don't think it'll directly show.
Yeah, I think, they were, they obviously gave permission, right? And they want him to advance. I think they know that he can be replaced, like he can be filled what he does. Like organizational knowledge is something you'd lose. An ability to fill in for Bob Myers is something you lose. But I think in essence, though, like you got Bob Myers, you got Steve Kerr, you got Joe Lacob's pocketbook. Like they'll be fine. They'll be able to go out and get somebody as good as Travis Schlenk. But I think the biggest thing is like organizational knowledge, be able to tell them about past mistakes and where the bones are buried.
I think they're just really happy because this is kind of their first Spurs-like branch out.
That's a huge point. Like this now becomes a tree.
Yeah.
Like you could start. I was wondering when it would happen too because they've won a lot of games, and at some point you got to start hiring people. It seems like the only tree was Steve Kerr.
Let's say the Hawks are playing well. There'll be like 4 stories next year about like the Warriors culture has been indoctrinated into the Hawks, and they want that, I think.
And then somebody else is going to get a job, and it's like, so I think they like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, coming from YouTube, a few more of these. Vin Tran, now looking back, do you think KD still would have signed with the Warriors had the Warriors won Game 7?
I think he wouldn't have waited till July 4th. If he had to think about it, right? Like
he would have been here for the parade, is what you're saying?
If he had to do it over again, he'd have been like, when can I sign this thing? July 1.
I don't think he signs here. If the Thunder beat the Warriors, if the Thunder closes out their 3-1 lead,
no, what I'm saying, like after, you talking about after that?
Yeah,
I don't think he signs if the Warriors win the title.
But in hindsight, like you talking about in hindsight of this season, or if things were different?
Hindsight of this season, would he have signed had the Warriors won Game 7?
After going through the season, is he regretting it, or would he do it again?
I mean, he's made it pretty clear that he would do it again over and over again when we ask him. But what do you think in terms of the circumstances? Had they been champions last year, is he still here?
Okay. I think
he said that. He actually said that at Stanford. He said he wouldn't have.
I think he would have. I don't think it was a basketball deal. I think that's the easy answer, but I think
to me that difference though puts over the top because it was close. Like he didn't just run to.
I think he would have ran after experiencing the Warriors. After
this is such a weird hypothetical though, because now we're taking his brain a year into the future.
I'm saying the question is, having gone through it, right? Will he, like now having experienced it, he just said out loud that even if they lose, like he think it's the best decision. Like he loves it is what I'm saying. So I'm sure before he made the decision before, he wasn't 1,000%
Yeah,
sure.
probably. I mean, especially with where his mind's at.
Yeah.
I think if he'd have won a championship in Oklahoma City, that would have given him license to go. Like, I gave y'all a title. Now I can
He
go
would have
live
been
for
still
me.
living off that high, that
They'd
brick
be like,
town
man,
parade. 3
now
days
I
later.
gave y'all a title. I'm good now. We good?
I'm out.
Would have been interesting.
All right, our last question is an anonymous question from the audience. A reminder that the raffle for the T-shirts, we will pick our questions after we end this live stream, the best questions that came through, and we'll be asking for contact information. So if you see us reaching out, please respond for you to get
Or
your
don't. I'll
T-shirt.
take your T-shirt.
Yeah, Marcus will take
I'll sell it
it.
at the BART
Oh, always
station.
take it.
Yeah, good
Sell
lord.
it at West Oakland BART. Y'all don't
With
know
a-
about that.
with
You
a
get
golden-
watches. You get incense.
Why aren't you not down there with some of the books?
Oh, I'm cool. That's too luxurious to be sold at the BART.
All right, from Anonymous in our audience, what are some interesting dietary choices of some of the Warriors? Last month, the article came out from ESPN about the peanut butter and jelly craze.
Yeah.
Are they eating anything weird back there in the locker room?
Well, Steph is a Sour Patch Kids addict. Like, literally. He's a maniac.
You know what else he
He's got a
likes?
cabinet full of that stuff.
Popcorn. A lot of times
Yeah.
on the road after
Oh, yeah.
games, him and Dan Martinez, one of the PR
They
guys.
just
will
bring him the big, huge.
It's like
Well, I mean,
it's like a
there's
Santa
the
sleeve
GIF
of
is on Twitter.
popcorn.
Like if you type in Steph Curry popcorn, that's like the first one that comes up of him on whatever bench that photo shoot was from.
But from what I was told, Steph is like off sugar right now, like it's playoffs, which he's got to be cheating because that dude is addicted to the candy. Like that's his thing. So if he's really like not eating candy, I mean, he's got incredible discipline, so maybe, but he's a candy junkie, like for real.
Jug life is JaVale's thing, so is water
Water,
an interesting
sure.
dietary choice?
Yeah, water. Anything else? Anybody else?
Man, I don't know what they eat. I'm trying to eat myself.
Okay. What's your playoff go-to? I know that you're all about green juice and fruit.
Yeah, I am.
This guy,
I am. I
everywhere
just
you
got a
see
green.
him, he's got a little green.
You're gonna like
get your
start.
vegetables in, man. That's all. I'm just trying to stay alive. That's it.
Do you want like a sponsorship from V8 or something by the time this is over?
V8 is like sugar. That's like bad.
No, it's
V8.
not. I teach you to drink your vegetables.
V8.
Okay,
V8
well,
is just all sugar.
you're one of those like pressed juice snobs.
Thank you.
Like, let me have it organically.
Right,
Let's have it $9
yeah,
for
get it
something
right.
this big.
Okay, that's a little overrated.
Super juiced in Oakland.
He took us to an organic place in San Antonio, and they gave us burgers and
Dude,
nachos.
you had a
and-
bison burger.
Yeah, that was
I just
grass-fed.
blessed your life. You don't even know.
First of all, I didn't have a bison burger. I had like super nachos. It tastes like any other nachos I've ever had.
It's not the point is not like, look, when you eat a bison burger, like, it's gonna leave your body faster than if you just ate a Whataburger. Like that thing is, you probably got a Whataburger from '89 in you right now still. Like that's the point. Like if it's natural,
Oh man.
I'm just trying to give y'all a little wisdom.
And
That's
on
all.
that
I'm
image
just trying to
that
give y'all a little
Marcus just
wisdom.
left in your head, we're going to end the live stream here on Bay Area Sports Insiders. Big round of
Eat
applause for
grass-fed.
our,
It's just
for our
grass-fed.
live audience.
Oh, here's the shirt.
Here's the shirts that we are raffling off. Complimentary. Big thanks to Oaklandish. The Dub Rain. Those are pretty awesome, aren't they? I'm covering Anthony's
Yes.
face here, but these will be the ones. Then we will reach out to those of you who win our question raffle there for the free T-shirt. So be sure to respond. You'll give us your information. We'll get these shirts to you. We'll be back. I mean, this is going to be our new thing now during the finals. We're going to be on the road in Cleveland, over at Oracle Arena, before games, pre-gamed, after practices. Make sure if you haven't bought it already, if you haven't heard about it 400 times this show, get your copy of Golden,
The Miraculous Rise of Steph Curry.
It's available here at Oaklandish. It's available at Barnes & Noble. I know that Marcus has a signing coming up there May 31st. See, I listen and I pay attention to things. If you want, you hound him. If you see him at games, just bring your copy of book and hit it with him.
I'll get you one. Oh,
Yeah.
we got 2, 3, 4. All right. I got
So now,
you.
Marcus's day has been made. For more Warriors coverage, be sure to check out mercurynews.com. We'll be back next week with our full Warriors Cavaliers NBA Finals.
Celtics.
Anthony wants to go to Boston. So for Marcus Thompson and Anthony Slater,
My dad's from
I'm Courtney Cronin. Thanks for watching.
Anybody trying to go to Cleveland?